That's a great question. You know, when you look at the research, what it suggests is that that there are some differences in terms of age segments. There are differences in how people use technology. There are certain differences in terms of what people want. But when you get a little bit lower than that, when you get down to needs, the needs are very similar. And then when you get down to values, what you find is that the generations are really closely connected in our country. This is a powerful force. And so grandparents really care about their grandchildren. They care about their children. And vice versa. The grandchildren today, young people today, care about their parents and their grandparents. So you have this real cohesiveness, this connectedness. And so from our standpoint, we try to think that way. We try to think intergenerationally. So just to give you one example right now, we're working very hard at AARP to try to get the state children's health insurance program reauthorized and expanded. Now, why do we want to do that? We want to do that because those are our grandchildren and because children are the future of the country. So that interconnectedness is very strong and very important. Well, it's changing quite rapidly. And the reason for this is that as the boomers age and as people in their 60s and 70s age, they tend to be healthier and better educated than previous generations. And so you have people living longer, and you have this huge cohort of boomers, 78 million baby boomers, coming into their older years. So what all this adds up to is that our society is aging. And as far as how old is old, nobody really knows. You know, there's a line that says basically, old is 10 years older than I am. The pressing issue for us today is to try to get health care fixed. Because what's happening is more and more people are unable to afford health care insurance, even if their employer offers it to them. More and more people are changing or losing jobs. And when they do that, they can't take their insurance with them. They're worried about their children. They're worried about so many aspects of healthcare. So many bankruptcies in this country are due to health costs. Right now, about 2/3 of all adults in this country think that the coming generation is going to be worse off than their parents. And if that happened, it would be the first time in American history. And a major reason for that is health care. And also financial security, not being able to save enough for retirement, pensions going south, trying to care for aging parents and having kids at home, and not being able really to save at work. So these are the issues that are top of the agenda for us. I think the young have a responsibility to the old, and very definitely older people have a responsibility to the young. There's no question. Every generation has to be responsible to the other. That's what society is built upon. And you know, there was a congressman who came to the AARP board one day, and he said, you know that young people have to pay for older people to receive Social Security. And I'm going to go out and talk to young people, and I'm going to make them madder than hell about this. And of course, there is no intergenerational warfare in this country. He was dead wrong. The young people are interested in their parents and their grandparents. And as I said before, vice versa. We have to all care about each other. And if we do that, we'll be a better society. Well, I think there's a formula. And the formula is not a deep secret. The way to age well, I think, is to stay mentally and physically active. And then the obvious things, you know, eat well, don't smoke, those kinds of things, get plenty of exercise. But mental and physical activity are the most important things that people can do to age well. It's a tough question. People do not like that idea. Now, you know, if you're 41 or under right now, you're going to have to work till you're 67. But at the same time, many people want to work into their older years. There's another way to think about it, which has been called longevity indexing, and some countries do this. And what they basically say is, okay, let's actuarially figure out how long you're expected to live. and we'll give you your Social Security money stretched out over that period of time. So you'll get less money per year over a longer period of years. That's one way to think about it. There are a lot of ways to consider fixing the system.